You know, most phones are pretty happy just being phones. Some want to be your wallet, your gaming console, your window to the world. But then you get a device like this, one with a single, incredibly focused ambition. So let's really think about that question, because it's pretty much the entire blueprint for the Vivo X100 Pro. This isn't just a phone with a couple of good cameras bolted on. Nope. From its very core, this thing was built with one identity in mind: to be the absolute best camera that can still slide into your pocket. And that identity, it makes itself known way before you even power the screen on. The whole story here really begins with the physical design, which is deliberately made to feel less like a smartphone and way more like a serious piece of photography gear. And you can see right here how Vivo pulls that feeling off. It's not just one thing, it's all these little details working together. I mean, look at that massive all-black camera circle dominating the back. And around it, you've got this knurled metal edge that feels just like you're turning the focus ring on a real lens. See that little flash of orange? That's a classic nod to high-end camera brands. Heck, even the weight is shifted toward the top, right where the camera is, so it just feels right and really solid in your hands. Now, this isn't just for show. It actually changes how you feel about the phone. The reviewer we're sourcing from said it perfectly. The design itself is inspiring. When this thing is just sitting on a desk, it's practically begging you to pick it up and go shoot something, not just scroll through your feed. And that says a lot about what this phone is all about. Okay, but you can't just look the part, right? A pro-level camera needs a serious engine running things behind the curtain. So let's take a peek under the hood at the powerful flagship specs that make all this camera magic happen. First up, your canvas. You're working with a huge 6.78-inch display. It's incredibly bright, super sharp, and the contrast is just fantastic. It's exactly the kind of screen you need to frame your shots perfectly and actually see if you nailed the photo. And that beautiful display, it's also running at a silky smooth 120 Hz. What that means is that everything from just swiping around the camera app to everyday use feels incredibly fast and fluid. It's totally a must-have for a modern flagship. Now, a device that's built for photography needs some serious stamina. The X100 Pro is packing a massive 5,400 mAh battery. This is the kind of power that lets you go out for a whole day of shooting without constantly worrying about finding an outlet. And the brains behind the whole operation is the MediaTek Dimensity 9300 chip. This is a top-of-the-line processor that gives you all the horsepower you could possibly need, making sure the phone never stutters, even when it's crunching those giant image files. But, as we're about to find out, this chip is not working alone. All right, now for the main event. Let's get into the real secret sauce here. The insane hardware and software that make up this phone's camera system. This is where it gets really, really cool. And this table really shows you the phone's whole philosophy. It's like a greatest hits collection from the best manufacturers. You've got a 50-megapixel Sony sensor for the main camera with rock-solid image stabilization. The ultrawide is also 50 megapixels with autofocus, but just look at that telephoto lens. A mind-boggling 200-megapixel Samsung sensor, and it's paired with special Zeiss APO lens tech. That APO basically means it's built to correct for color distortions, which gets rid of that weird purple or green fringe you sometimes see on the edges of things in photos. And if that wasn't enough, every single lens on here is treated with something called Zeiss T-Star coating. So what is that? Well, it's this legendary special sauce that Zeiss usually only puts on their super expensive professional camera lenses. Its job is simple but absolutely critical. It slashes lens flare and glare and lets more light hit the sensor. The result? Your photos are cleaner, clearer, and just pop with more color. Okay, let's stop for a second. A 200-megapixel sensor, all these special coatings, that is a ridiculous amount of visual data to process at once. The main chip is a beast, for sure, but it can't do all that by itself. So how on earth does Vivo handle it? Well, they built their own dedicated two-person team to handle the job. It's a dual-chip system. First, the Vivo V2 chip grabs the raw data the second it comes off the sensor. It does a quick first pass, kind of like prepping the ingredients, which takes a huge load off the main system. Then it hands that refined data over to the more powerful Vivo V3 chip, which does all the heavy lifting. We're talking about creating that beautiful blurry background in 4K portrait videos, cleaning up noise in your night shots, and applying those signature vibrant colors. So, let's recap. We have a device that looks like a camera with the guts of a camera, but Vivo decided to take it one giant leap further. They created an accessory kit that literally completes the transformation, physically turning this phone into something else entirely.
Okay, so just to be clear, this is the Vivo X100 Pro that we've been talking about. It's a sleek, really powerful flagship phone. And this is what happens when you unlock its true potential. It's not a phone with a case anymore. It becomes a completely new device. So, what's in this wild transformation kit? It all starts with a custom case that's like the central hub. Then, you snap on this professional grip. Not only does it make the whole thing way more comfortable and steady to hold, but it also has its own 1500 milliamp hour battery inside to keep the phone charged. The grip even has physical camera buttons, a two-stage shutter where you can have press to focus, a dedicated record button, and a little dial for zooming. And to top it all off, it comes with an adapter so you can screw on professional grade 67mm camera filters. It's just wild. So when you put all of this together, the design, the silicon, the software, these crazy accessories, what you end up with isn't just another phone in the annual lineup. It really signals a bigger shift that's happening in the entire market. Think about it. For years and years, the high-end phone market was pretty much a two-horse race. Then you had some established challengers come in and offer some great alternatives. But now, as you can kind of see here, we're seeing this new wave of specialists, companies like Vivo, who are carving out their own space by going all in on one specific thing and just pushing it to the absolute limit. And for us, the consumers, that's amazing, because it means we get way more interesting and specialized choices.
And that's really the bottom line here. It creates a very clear choice. If you're someone who thinks of your phone as a camera first, and maybe a phone second, then the Vivo X100 Pro is making a really, really strong case that it was built from the ground up just for you. Which leaves us with a pretty fascinating question to chew on. For decades, the old saying has been, the best camera is the one you have with you. But with devices like this, that so perfectly blend the convenience of a phone with the soul and capability of a dedicated camera, well, it really makes you wonder if that line between the two is about to vanish for good.
If you enjoy this video, please like, share, subscribe and hit the bell to the later update from my channel. Thank you for watching till the end and see you in the next video.